And welcome to the Browns post-game show, folks. Boy, this is a tough one. I don't know what to say here with the Browns. I expected the Steelers to win, but I did not expect I didn't expect the Steelers to come out and just annihilate the Cleveland Browns the way they did from the get-go. I mean, this wasn't even close. This wasn't even this wasn't a game. I mean, the opening drive, the Browns, I thought, you know what? I even tweeted this out. They stopped the Steelers from scoring a touchdown in the first drive of the game, forced them to kick a field goal. And I said at the time, that's a win for the Cleveland Browns as a team because, okay, now you're only down 3-0. If you go down and score, you're up 7-3, and there's confidence, there's momentum there. And then on the very first possession of the game for the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, and where was it? I wrote it down. 3rd and 3 from their own 28, and Baker Mayfield throws a pick six to Minkah Fitzpatrick. And at that point, it's 10-0, and you're thinking, uh-oh, this could be a long day. Let's see what happens on the next drive, right? And I'm making notes in this, and I'm writing this down. And the Browns go 3 and out on the very next drive. And it just had that feel to it that this defense, the Steelers were presenting to Baker Mayfield, okay? This defense was confusing Baker Mayfield. Number one, he's hurt to begin with. So any hit he takes, he's going to feel it 10 times as much, right? And they were giving him, I think Tony Romo was calling it exotic looks, right? And so exotic looks, big hits, painful hits, unable to run the football. And it was obvious, I should say, they missed Nick Chubb in this game. And Kareem Hunt, the feature back, pretty good second choice, right? Don't you think? I do. Well, 13 carries, 40 yards, I think, for him today. 13 carries, 40 yards. And so everything that could go wrong went wrong for the Browns in this game. They couldn't throw it. They couldn't run it. They didn't play that bad defensively. I know there's 38 points on the scoreboard. I see that. But think about this. One was a pick six, so that's 31 points. So the defense gave up, I guess, 31 points. So when you look at the total, where was it, yards, I think the Steelers didn't get 300 yards of total offense. Now, they changed their game plan and time of possession and knew they were ahead, so they didn't want to turn it over, yada, 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 all that. But still, the Browns defense, even though it's a blowout, 38-7, the Browns defense didn't play that bad. But yet, they still got beat 38-7. Special teams, Donovan Peoples-Jones, that's not working for me. I don't know about you on the return game. Just outplayed, outcoached, out-hit, out-muscled, out-everything. And I was thinking about this. 2 games that they've lost, the Browns. Where's my note on this? I got notes everywhere here today, people. Here we go. 2 games the Browns have lost. 38-6 to the Ravens in week 1. And this is what, week 6. 38-7. So they've been outscored 76-13 by the 2 teams they want to track down, that they're chasing, that they want to be like. The Ravens, the 2-time defending North Division champs, and the Steelers. So that shows you how far away, even though the Browns are making improvements, that shows you how far away they are from the Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Again, the final 38-7. You can see on the bottom of the screen here some of the stats for the Browns. Not many good stats. And I guess, and I owe this to my partner, JT. I went out and bought this for my dog, Frankie, but I liked it so much, I kept it from him, and I'm using it. When Baker Mayfield threw the pick six, you know what I thought of? You know who this is, right? Right? Who's that? That's Mr. Bill. Remember him from Saturday Night Live? When Baker threw that pick six? That's what was going through my mind. Mr. Bill and oh no on the Baker Mayfield pick six. How many times did I think of Mr. Bill here today during it? Well, how many times did Baker get hit? How many times was he hit? How many times was he hurried? How many times was he sacked? 4. How many times was he pressured? 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever it was. And every time, that's what I kept hearing and thinking in my head. So, all right, let's get to some of your questions, your comments, as we check out these comments coming in through Twitter and Facebook. It's the Browns Postgame Show. Wow, the Browns played like crap from Adam Cerny. Yes, Adam, they did. That was a stinkeroo right there. They were terrible, awful. Ryan Wilson, Baker is not now and never will be the answer. Still up for debate. I can understand why you're saying that, Ryan. I can understand why you're saying that. Absolutely. I see that. I get that too. I'm with you 100% on that. As far, well, let me rephrase that. He doesn't look like the answer now. I don't know that he never will be, but right now he does not look like the answer. That's the way I'll say that, Ryan Wilson. This was a statement game for the Browns. This was a chance for Baker Mayfield to have his signature game, his signature moment as a pro, to go into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers. Now, were the Browns coaches and players and everybody asking too much of Baker? He was playing hurt. Should he have played? I don't know. We'll have to see what comes up in the postgame. They did take him out at the end of the third quarter, which was smart, so he doesn't get more banged up. They're at Cincinnati next week, so if he's your starting guy moving forward and he's still okay to play, you don't want him to get more banged up than he already is, right? But this was his chance to make a statement, and maybe he was just too sore, too hurt to do that. But everybody else, well, I shouldn't say that because Jarvis Landry was banged up. OBJ missed some practice because of the COVID scare, which was negative. I just had too many question marks for me to think that this game was going to be won by the Browns on the road. I picked it Steelers 31, Browns 24. I thought it would go over, and for the first time since week 1, they failed to go over. The over was 51, so 45. I was thinking there was going to be a backdoor cover there with a late touchdown, but the Browns did not cover the over. So if you bet the over because I told you to, I'm sorry, but hey, I'm betting it until they get stopped. Well, they were stopped by the Steelers defense today. Dominated by the Steelers defense. Just annihilated physically by the Steelers defense. But nobody made a statement, and there were too many question marks with injuries and things of that nature coming in for the Browns for me to pick them. Show me. Go into Pittsburgh and beat them for the first time in 17 years. Well, they couldn't do that. 17 straight losses now in Pittsburgh. Tim Couch, 2003, 33-13, Sunday Night Football. Heinz Field's the last time the Browns won in Pittsburgh. Remember Couch flexed when he scored in the end zone and everything like that? It's the last time they won there. All right, let's get some more comments in here. Pony X 4821. We are still 4-2, but today was like watching the Browns from the last 2 years. Painful. Yeah, Baker would agree with you. Baker Mayfield agrees that it was a very painful game today. Boy, he just took some hits, and the Steelers, you know what? The Steelers knew what they were doing, too. The Steelers, they understood what they were doing, right? They went out and, they dominated the game physically, mentally, on the scoreboard, not so much in the stats, but every other way you could. All right, let's see what we got here on Facebook. Shannon Mayer. Exotic looks by the Steelers. Exotic is always good, isn't it? Well, wasn't for Baker, though. Steelers liked it, though. Chris Zitzman. But they made up for it by not tackling. Can we get another safety? Zendejo is horrible. Rather have Randall. Let's see here. Shannon Mayer, 76-13 from the top 2 teams in the division. Mark Chalmers, I I still would have took 4-2 after 6 games. I know it sucks, but you got to move on and put it behind you. They did that when they lost to Baltimore and they won their next 4. Now can they do that after losing to the Steelers? Good point, Mark. And it's the Bengals next week. You should beat the Bengals. Whether it's Case Keenum, who has to play because Baker's hurt, or Baker's playing hurt, whatever it is, you should beat the Bengals. Larry Hall was in the house. What's up, brother? 38-7, another dominating performance by the Steelers. The black and gold get it done. Shannon Mayer, Titans still undefeated, won in OT. Will be a great game next week against the Steelers. Yeah, it will. Steelers have Titans, Ravens, Cowboys in their next 3. They're 5-0, but those next 3 games, good tests for Big Ben, that defense, and the Steelers. Let's see. Baker should have never started, Shannon Mayer says. Could make that argument after seeing the way he played today, right? Let's see here. John Hilt checking us out on Facebook. That's good, John. We appreciate that. Keep the comments and the questions coming. Appreciate those. Let's see here. Some more comments. I'm still learning how to do this thing here, people, so bear with me. Let's see. What was this one? We'll put this one up. This from Javier Mormon. Baked Beans was never the QB. Never was, never will. Running college rollouts for your QB is not it. Okay? Javier Roman, there are some people that agree with you. And there are some people who still think he needs to be given more time because this is his 3rd or 4th head coach, his 3rd or 4th offensive coordinator in his first 3 years. Now, never going to change the height. He's done growing, right? It's not like he's going to grow another 3 inches or 4 inches overnight or in the next year or so. So he is what he is, height-wise, body-wise. So as the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, you've got to find ways to bring the best out of Baker Mayfield. And that's kind of tough right now. It really is. Kind of tough. Hey, my cousin, Jimmy Bosman. What's up, cuz? He's checking it out on Facebook today, back in the Berg. Appreciate that. Michael Smith, how do you address the coaching and play calling today, Roadman? I question. I know Baker wants to show his toughness, and he probably took a shot, painkiller, whatever it was, wore the flak jacket to start and all that. But at some point, I said early in the 3rd quarter, you take him out and put Keenum in, maybe just to protect them and to try and give the team a spark. I'll question that. Welcome to the AFC North again, Kevin Stefanski. Ravens, Steelers. First time going against those 2 teams that have been the top dogs in the division. So a learning process for Kevin Stefanski as well. Yes, absolutely. I thought defensively, they played better. I really do. I thought defensively, they played better. Peter Cianci III is checking us out today on Cleveland Browns postgame. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate that. Let's see. Do we have any more here coming in via? Let's check Twitter now. That's Facebook. And you can watch us and send your questions and comments via Facebook or Twitter as we do the Browns postgame show after the game each and every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with this COVID season, whenever that might be. Let's see here. It's obvious he's hurt. Those ribs are worse than he's letting on, from Sean Elliott on Twitter with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, we saw it last week. 2 for 9 in the second half last week, throwing the football and 2 picks. So let's do some quick math here. 2 for 9 last week in the second half with the injury and 2 interceptions. And then 10 for 18 today. So he's 12 for his last 27 with 4 interceptions, Baker Mayfield, after getting dinged up, after getting hurt. John Najili. What's up, WHBC? How you doing, John? The Browns take a tough loss today, John. That's what's up. Rolling 4 straight wins. And JT, my partner on the Kenny and JT show, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. here on WHBC. It's where you can listen to us. We were talking about this on the show this week, and he was pointing out that who have the Steelers played? They're 4-0, And the combination record of the teams they beat were 3-15-1. And it was a fair point at that point. Well, you could question, I didn't think the Colts were as good as advertised or as good as their record indicated when the Browns beat them last week. And I don't know if they lost. They were losing today. So I don't know who the Browns had beaten to that point either. So this was going to be a good litmus test for both teams to see how the Browns stack up against the Steelers on the road, to see if the Steelers defense is as good against an offense that had scored 30 points in 4 straight games. And so we found out the answers today, at least through 6 weeks, that the Steelers defense is better than the Browns offense. The Steelers are 5-0 because of their offense and their defense. The Browns offense against better teams, Ravens, Steelers, beginning and today, right, struggled mightily. Against the non-playoff contenders or division challengers, the Browns have done well. And again, this is year one under Kevin Stefanski. So there are going to be steps forward and maybe 2 or 3 steps back with losses like this. So I think what you have to do, as painful and as cliche as this might sound, what you have to do is look at this quickly on film, try and correct the mistakes, put it behind you, move forward. Hopefully there won't be any blow-ups in the locker room. I saw OBJ, on the sidelines, yelling a little, trying to get his teammates fired up a little bit. This is when you'll wonder, when you have divas at wide receiver, right? Okay, you're still 4-2. You're still in the playoff race, but big game last week, but nothing this week. What did OBJ? 2 catches, 25 yards. Jarvis Landry, 3 catches, 40 yards, and I saw Landry with a penalty, frustration, taking it out on the field there. It's going to be interesting to see the dynamic in the locker room this week in practice. We'll have Daryl Ryder, outstanding Browns beat reporter for 92.3 The Fan and the Browns Radio Network on. We'll try and get him on the show this week to talk to him about it as the week unfolds. Scotty Petrak joins us on the Kenny and JT show every Friday at 5 p.m. from brownzone.com. Does a great job. I'm curious to hear from those guys as the week unfolds what the mood of the locker room is moving forward. Now, the good thing is you dangle that carrot out there, and let me check some scores here. You dangle that carrot out there that the Bengals are next, right? It's the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's see. They were winning, but the question is, did the Bengals hold on to win? Let's see here. Yada, yada, yada. Bengals. Nope. They blew it. The Colts did come back and win, so I guess we need to give the Colts a little more credit. That's who the Bengals were up on. So the Bengals were up on the Colts, and they lost 31-27. So you got the Bengals to look forward to. That's the elixir, right? To cure your ills, the Cincinnati Bengals. So let's see, finals here today. Lions beat the Jaguars 34-16. Titans in overtime over the Texans 42-36. The Giants beat the Washington football team 20-19. The Falcons clobbered the Vikings 40-23. The Bears 23, Panthers 16. Broncos 18, Patriots 12. Bill Belichick, go grab a Subway sub after that loss. What else? Did I miss any of the other early games? I think not. Games that are going on right now, Dolphins, Jets, 7-0 Miami. Packers, Buccaneers, Tom Brady, and the battle against Aaron Rodgers. Ravens a winner. Nope, it's not a final yet. It is Ravens 30, Eagles 22. Check that. How about that? Just as I was reading that. Ravens 30, Eagles 28. They just scored with 1:55 left, going to go for 2 points. Could tie the Ravens game up. We'll keep you posted on that. So you're up to date on that. Let's see, some other notes, and then we'll get to your questions here. Keep the questions coming, please. The Steelers, Oh, my goodness gracious. Has it been that bad? Yeah, it has. The Steelers since 1999 now are 37-8-1 against the Browns. 37-8-1 since 1999 against the Browns. They split last year, right? All-time record now, Steelers 77 wins, Browns 59 wins, and 1 tie. And so that's a look at the series. Now, to your questions we go. Let's see here. Adam Cerny says he owes me a beer. I'll take you up on that, Adam. Absolutely. Javier Roman checked in with us. Oh, we did the baked beans thing with him. Pamela. Hello, Pamela. Pamela Cook checking in. Myles Garrett was pretty quiet. Kudos to the Steelers' offensive line. Yes, Pam, you're right. Only 1 sack today. He had 4 tackles. I think he had 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 sack. But for the most part, the Steelers line without David DeCastro did a phenomenal job today. Run blocking and pass blocking. John Najili hanging out with us still. We appreciate that. David Shipe from Worcester. It's like baseball. Good pitching beats good hitting. It will shore up versus Cincinnati. Yeah. I mean, Cincinnati's won 4-1 now, right? So you would think the Browns would be able to fix some of these mistakes next week on the road at Cincinnati, even though it's a road game. And Burrow, he's playing fairly well. I didn't look at his stats today, but he's playing fairly well, so they got to be careful. Baseball prediction, David wants on David Shipe wants me to predict the Dodgers game. I picked the Dodgers to win the thing at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the season, I picked them. Then we had the pandemic shutdown. Then when they started back up, I picked them to win it when we started back up. So it's Game 7 today. And, hey, got to give a shout-out to the Tampa Bay Rays last night for beating the Cheaters of Houston. Jose Altuve, who else? Springer, and Bregman, and those. It's a lot harder hitting a baseball when you don't know what pitch is coming. Cheaters, good for you. Congratulations to the Rays. But I picked the Dodgers to win it all, so we'll see what happens in this Game 7 with the Dodgers today. I'm sticking with the Dodgers until they're knocked out. All right, let's get some more questions in from you on Facebook and from Twitter. Let's see here. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, Roadman. How bad do you think the running game is going to suffer without Nick Chubb for an extended period of time? Today is a good example that as good as Kareem Hunt is, he's not Nick Chubb. To me, Nick Chubb is the best all-around player on this football team for the Browns. Without him, that is a major setback. Major, major setback. Just really is. And it's the domino effect, right? Chubb's your main go-to guy. He's your breakaway threat. He can run between the tackles. He can get to the outside. He takes pressure off Baker Mayfield and the passing game. Kareem Hunt, good third down back, occasional, 3-4 down back if you're giving Chubb a rest. But we're seeing that it was a great 1-2 punch with Chubb as your lead guy, and then the change of pace third down guy with Hunt. Now everybody else has to step up. Like Dearness Johnson, welcome to the AFC North, right? He fumbles. Luckily, they were able to fall on it and recover it, but he's just not ready for this big of a game. And same with Hilliard. So from that standpoint, it's going to hurt the Browns, I think, for quite some time with Nick Chubb out of the lineup. All right, let's see what else we got here. Paul Cray and Jan Hasselbush are checking us out today on Facebook. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Keep the questions and the comments coming here because we're going to go here till we're done talking. I'm waiting to see if we get an injury update, too, on Baker Mayfield for you. Following my buddy Scotty Petrak on Twitter, a great follow on Twitter, at Scott Petrak. It says here, Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield said it's not discouraging that both losses came to the Ravens, and Steelers said each loss counts as one. And you have to look at it that way, but they are more painful because they count as 2 games basically in the standings, right? Because they're divisional losses. And I think today's loss was a little bit more painful for Baker physically there. Let's see what else was said on Twitter. Baker Mayfield got to take care of the ball. Didn't see Minka come down on the first interception. Didn't get enough on the second interception intended for Higgins. That really was the game changer, wasn't it? Minka Fitzpatrick hadn't done anything all season long for the Steelers. I pointed it out when I was doing interviews this week on Pittsburgh radio when they came. Stan Savran from ESPN in Pittsburgh came on our show. We went on their show, yada, yada. Minka Fitzpatrick hadn't done anything all season long, and he gets the game changer. That was it right there. That was the one, remember? That's the one where when Baker threw it, Mr. Bill came out and did the... So to me, that was the definite game changer right there. And then the Browns were chasing an uphill battle. And they tried to run the ball, but you knew they were going to have to throw it to beat Pittsburgh. And I knew that too, because the Steelers defense was up for the challenge against this running game, especially with Nick Chubb out. Let's see here. Kevin Stefanski, with any loss, you can't let it linger. Kevin Stefanski taking some of the blame for Baker Mayfield's performance today, saying, I didn't help him out today, meaning maybe with his play calling and that. Stefanski said Baker's rib injury was the reason he pulled him in that third quarter, so there's no quarterback controversy there. Let's see what else we got here from Baker Mayfield maybe. Got to take care of the ball. We read you that one. Baker Mayfield said he wanted to stay in because he's a competitor and Baker said, what else? On the lopsided loss to the Steelers, we don't want it to landslide. Can't let one turn into two, meaning next week against the Cincinnati Bengals. So, yeah, they can't let this linger. They've got to find a way, okay? They've got to find a way to bounce back next weekend and just pick up and move forward with Cincinnati. David Richardson is checking us out on Facebook today. David, appreciate that. As I look at this, I think a number of things are pointed out in this, all right? The Browns are getting better. Defensively, they're still a long ways away. They played better defensively. 38 points, but 7 was on a pick 6. You had a couple of you had another turnover. You had some turnover on downs. So really like 4 turnovers today or 5, whatever. So defensively, they're a long ways away. That's why the offense can't score 1 touchdown in a game. We told you this from the get-go, that the Browns, in order for the Browns to win games this season, based on what they did in the offseason, what Andrew Berry did in the offseason, they loaded up on offense. They went out and they signed Hooper, the tight end. They got Conklin, the right tackle. They got Jedrick Wills, the left tackle in the draft. They got Harrison Bryant, the tight end, in the draft. And they actually drafted a safety and a linebacker, both from LSU. Both guys are hurt though. So that's tough on them, and that's hurting this defense right now because I think both those guys would be playing right now. But defensively, free agency-wise, they didn't do jack squat in the offseason. They didn't. And that they allowed Schobert to go, and I was fine with that because Schobert was great on a bad team. He racked up a lot of tackles, but he had a stretch there for 3 or 4 games where he made some big plays, but that's about it. So defensively, this team is a long way away defensively. Offensively, they're not 6, 30, 30, 30, 30, 6, right? Need to be more consistent, need to be better against the better teams. And this is where Baker Mayfield now, what is Baker's record now? I want to say 16 and 19 maybe as a starter now. Trying to remember that off the top of my head. I know he's under 500. He needs to have a signature game, a signature win. He was hurt today, so it was maybe expecting too much from him to do that today. But he wanted to show his toughness and I get that, be out there with your teammates and everything. I get that. But he needs to beat somebody good in a meaningful game. This was an early season matchup where 4-0, 4-1. Steelers, Browns, rivalry renewed. Well, not really. Kind of more of the same with like Ohio State and Michigan. Steelers, Browns since 1999. I gave you the numbers. 37-8-1 the Steelers are against the Browns since 99. Tim Couch, 3-4 against the Steelers. Tim Couch takes so much flack. Oh, he's a bust Roadman. Oh, he stinks. He wasn't good. Wasn't worth the number. Hey, in 7 starts against the Steelers, Tim Couch was 3-4, and he's the last guy to beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and he's the last guy to take the Browns to the playoffs as a quarterback. So Baker Mayfield, that was Tim's defining win right there in Pittsburgh, 33-13, 17 years ago. Baker Mayfield still hasn't had one of those yet. That's what they're looking for. Let's see what other questions we have here. Roadman, what do you do about the secondary? I don't know. What can you do? If you're Andrew Berry, do you hope that Carl Joseph and a bunch of guys were out today? Where's my list? Carl Joseph was out today. Ronnie Harrison was out. So 2 starting safeties instead of Redwine and Sendejo. You might have been able to have both of those guys start if they were healthy. Well, those 2 were out. You hope that they get better. You hope that they get healthy because Sendejo, I would have cut Sendejo after week 1 against the Ravens. But you hope these guys, Harrison with a concussion, I'm not sure what Joseph's injury was, but you hope that those guys can get back and you put them back there to help in the secondary. Greedy Williams, who knows when he's going to return? He's out at least 2 more weeks because he's been placed on IR as a cornerback. Looking at some of the other guys that were dinged up in that. Vernon played today but didn't do much. Oh, Phillips, the linebacker out of LSU. You hope to get him in, right? Can't hurt. Can't be any worse than the guys that are there. Can't do any worse than the guys that are there. So that's all I think you can do. I don't think the Browns are going to make a trade before the trading deadline coming up here in a few weeks. Unless you can get from a crappy team, a veteran with a year or 2 left on his contract that team's looking to just dump. He may still be playing well, but just looking to dump for a draft pick. That may be the only way you're going to be able to make a trade for some defensive help at this point. And I don't know, maybe there's somebody on the street that has been hurt. Maybe they're getting healthy and now they're still a free agent, and maybe Andrew Berry can look for that. I don't know. But right now, this defense, it is what it is. It's not good. They're going to give up on average about 30 points a game. So the offense, here's the funny thing, right? Indian starting pitchers, they knew because of a lack of offense, they could give up 1, maybe 2 runs and have a chance to win this year, right? With the Browns, the offense knows that they're going to have to score 31 to 35 points a game because their defense is going to give up 28 to 30 points a game. So it's just interesting that, the Indians had no offense and good pitching. The Browns have a pretty good offense and no defense. So that's got to be the mindset going in. It's got to be the mindset going in. And I think Kevin Stefanski knows that too. And what can he do to better it? I'm not sure. Not sure what he can do to better it. Pam Corzin Zingardi is checking us out on Facebook. Hi, Pam. David Richardson, great to see you as well. Appreciate that. Let's see what else we got here. Roadman, do you see the Browns making the playoffs this year? Well, let's do this. Let's pull up their schedule, and we'll play the schedule game just for this question from I think that was John who sent that question in. All right. John, here we go. I think they'll beat the Bengals. So what does that make them? 5-2. And then they've got Las Vegas. That's a toss-up. So worst case scenario, they're 5-3 at the break. That's halfway to 10-6. That's not bad, right? Houston's beatable. Philadelphia's beatable. Jacksonville, very beatable. Tennessee, probably not. Baltimore, probably not. The Giants, that's a win. The Jets, that's a win. And then the last game of the regular season, that game could decide whether or not the Browns make the playoffs. Because I'm expecting them to win at New York in back-to-back weeks. They got the Giants and the Jets. How about that? That's a nice little carrot to dangle out there in front of the Browns. And the players, hey, don't get too down on this. We still have a long way to go. And look at that stretch run. After we play those tough games with Tennessee and Baltimore, back-to-back games against the Giants and the Jets, and then we get another shot at the Steelers at home, where they could, exact revenge for this ass whooping that they were given today. The Steelers opened up a can of whoop ass today. That's all you can say. They opened that thing up from the first quarter on and just kept pounding and pounding and pounding the Browns players. Baker Mayfield, Austin Hooper got knocked sideways like 2 or 3 times. Hooper got thrown around today by the Steelers defense like Hooper got thrown around in his cage in the movie Jaws. Remember that? Hooper, what can you do with that cage? Remember that? And Jaws came and just chewed that cage apart and threw Hooper around. Well, Austin Hooper got thrown around by the Steelers defense today. So they beat him up physically. They beat him up on the scoreboard, out-coached, out-played, out-physicaled, out-manned, out-everything the Browns today. There's no other way to say it at 38-7. Not gonna, you know me, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't sugarcoat things. I just don't. It's just not, what I do. Tell you like it is. And if you don't like it that way, keeping it real and telling it like it is, then don't tune in. Because whether it's a win or a loss, I'm going to tell you the way I see it. And like I said, I see today a very average to above average offense, a very average to below average defense, and special teams. That's a whole nother game. I mean, at least they didn't fumble the ball today on special teams or have a kick blocked or something like that, but their return game, not good. And so from that standpoint, they've got a long way to go on special teams. Long way to go on special teams. Let's see what else we have here before maybe we get out of here. Let's run down the stats, I guess. Baker Mayfield, 10 of 18, 119 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 4 sacks, and a lot of pain. Case Keenum came in, end of the third quarter, played the fourth quarter, 5 of 10, 46 yards. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. By the way, Baker Mayfield's quarterback rating, 54.9. Kareem Hunt, 13 carries, 40 yards. You can see some of the stats on the crawl down there, but OBJ, 2 for 25. Jarvis Landry, 3 for 40. Austin Hooper, 5 catches, 52 yards. Hollywood Higgins had the only touchdown of the game for the Browns. 1 catch, 13 yards in the touchdown. Kareem Hunt, 2 catches, 17 yards. Myles Garrett got slowed down, as Pam pointed out. 4 tackles. 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 quarterback hit. Ben Roethlisberger didn't have great numbers today. Didn't need them, right? 14 of 22, 162 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice. He did not turn the ball over. I said if the Browns were going to have a chance to win this game, the defense would have to do what they'd been doing. Even though they gave up yards and points, they were creating turnovers. They didn't get any turnovers today at all. So kudos to the offensive line for the Steelers. Kudos to Ben Roethlisberger, ball security and decision-making. Baker Mayfield, horrible decision-making today. James Conner, 20 carries, 101 yards, 1 touchdown, took care of the football. Benny Snell had a touchdown run, took care of the football. Local kid playing for the Steelers. Chase Claypool, how about this kid? Steelers get this wide receiver in the 3rd round. 3rd round, Chase Claypool, 2 carries, 7 yards, and a touchdown for Claypool today. 4 receptions, 74 yards, and another big day for him. James Washington, 4 receptions, 68 yards, and he caught the 1 touchdown from Ben Roethlisberger today. And let's see, the Steelers ended up with 4 sacks. Bud Dupree had 2 of those 4 sacks. So when you put it all together, the Browns, I want to see what they were. Hold on, I got to see what the Browns were on third down. Hi, Frankie. Let's see if people can see Frankie. Where are you at? There you are, Frank. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. You want to join the show? Huh? You want to join the show? How about I give you your toy? Look at that. Got to love this live stuff, right? Look, Frankie, I'm going to put some treats in here for you. How's that? Oh, boy, how about that? You want your treats? You want your toy? Do you want your toy? Huh? Do you? That's okay. Oh, there we are. We're back. I thought we got knocked off there. I thought Frankie might have knocked me off the air there. I got to see what the Browns were in third downs. Live TV, live radio, live internet stuff, whatever you want to call it. Got to love it. Let's see here. Browns on third down today. I'm going to guess. I don't know what it was, okay? I'm going to guess before I look at this, the Browns were 2 of 14 on third down today. So let's look at the team stats for the Browns. Third down efficiency, Browns, 1 of 12 on third down today. 1 of 12. 0 of 3 on fourth down. So third and fourth down today, the Browns were 1 for 15. Jeez. 1 for 15. Steelers, on the other hand, were 7 for 16 combined on third and fourth down. Drive extenders. Keep the drive alive. Keep the offense out there. Keep your defense off the field. That's what the Browns did last week. I wrote, where are my sheets from last week? Last week, I wrote this down. I wanted to bring this up to see. Last week, first half of the game last week in the win over the Colts. Browns, 10 plays, 69 yards, 4 minutes, 36 seconds, field goal. 14 plays, 81 yards, 6:54 time of possession, touchdown. 9 plays, 75 yards, 4:17 time of possession, touchdown. 12 plays, 64 yards, 4 minutes time of possession, field goal. 20 points, keeping the defense off the field, chewing up the clock, winning time of possession. Now granted, again, the Colts defense, I think that the numbers were not inflated, but they were misleading for that Colts defense. It's not as good as the numbers indicated. Cincinnati put up 27 on them today. But against this defense today, you couldn't do that. And the Steelers went out and held the Browns in the number one team rushing. 188 yards, I think, a game coming in, right? Browns averaged 188 rushing a game coming in. Today, the Browns carried the ball 22 times for 75 yards. So Steelers defense dominates, more physical, painful day for Baker Mayfield stat-wise and physically. Defense didn't play as bad as the score indicated, but still didn't do enough, didn't create turnovers, and had some miscommunications and breakdowns and all that. And thus, when it's all said and done, it's a 38-7 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So give one final look here on Twitter and Facebook if we have any more questions before we call it a day. And let's see here. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Nope, that's good there. We do have one more here. Let's see. It says, Roadman, do you think OBJ will blow up this week? I hope not. I really do. It's one loss. You're 4-2. You now know you're not at the level of the Ravens or the Steelers. You have a ways to go, but you're in the middle there. You're in the mix to be a playoff team. So hopefully he won't be a distraction this week. Hopefully Jarvis Landry as well as Baker Mayfield will keep their heads, right? Stay cool. Don't lose it. And don't bring the team down where it could lead to a second loss on the road at Cincinnati. Now that would be a major problem. So you got to go in next week and win at Cincinnati. Jonathan McTeer checking us out on the Cleveland Browns postgame show. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate that. All right, that's going to do it, folks. Again, the Browns a loser, 38-7, dominated by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And back to the drawing board for Kevin Stefanski. Baker Mayfield, we'll see how bad he was hurt today or bruised up more today, because he already had bad ribs and he took some serious shots today. Might have taken a shot before the game to numb the pain, but I'm sure that wore off, and then he felt all those hits. So the health of Baker Mayfield going into next week. Kevin Stefanski got to go back like he did after the Ravens loss, regroup, and try and get this team turned around. Hopefully no distractions in the locker room all week long. And you hope you get some guys back healthy so you can go into Cincinnati and not let this become a 2-game losing streak after a 4-game winning streak. So you tip your cap to the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, defensive line. That's really where this game was won and lost. The Steelers D-line dominated with their linebackers. The O-line protected Ben enough. And so the Browns need to look at that as well. So you tip the cap to those guys. And Ben Roethlisberger, no mistakes. Baker Mayfield, 2 mistakes, 2 crucial mistakes. And that was it. All right, thanks to everybody for tuning in here on the Cleveland Browns postgame show. I'll talk more about this tomorrow on the Kenny and JT show. JT is off tomorrow. So We will have plenty of time to discuss it with you between 3 and 6 p.m. tomorrow, 1480 a.m. on your radio dial, or you can listen online at WHBC.com, or you can ask your speaker device is, right? Your phone or your speaker device. Ask them to play WHBC, and you can listen to the show that way, and no static, no interruptions, all that good stuff. We'll talk more Browns, and we're going to talk some Ohio State football this week. You know why? Buckeyes play Saturday. First game of the year, the 24th at home against Nebraska. So we're going to get ready for the Buckeyes. We're going to get ready for Browns-Bengals. We're going to get ready for more high school football playoff action with at least, I think, 7 teams left in Stark County. So it should be a lot of fun this week. Even though JT's off, I'll man the fort. Come join me Monday through Friday. Until then, or until next Sunday after the Browns-Bengals game. Have a great week, everybody. And please, please, please do me a favor. Wash your damn hands. Wear your damn mask. Social distance. And treat others like you want to be treated. It really is that simple, folks. Have a good rest of your Sunday. See you. Bye.